Okay, I'm going to try and give you guys a little demo of my new awesome toy here. We're going to get it positioned like so. We're not going to be able to see the whole thing, but without going and getting my webcam from upstairs, this is the best we're going to do. So this is a Korg Monologue. It is specifically a monophonic analog synthesizer, and what that means is it supports one voice at a time. So one key. If you press another key, the second key just overrides the first key. And this is because it is truly an analog synthesizer. There are what are called VCOs, or voltage controlled oscillators, generating the waveforms. So high level, as I said, there's two VCOs, the oscillators making the form. So if I turn VCO 1 or 2 all the way down and 1 up, I've got a sawtooth wave, a triangle wave, and a square wave. And I can adjust the shape of those waves. See on the little screen. You guys can't see the screen. Doesn't look like. But it's showing me the waveform over here. And I can adjust the octave of the wave that I'm on. Let's get a little interference from somewhere. Something is just tipping. That's okay. I can change the octave. Some fat bass. Oh, I'm currently running through the phaser pedal. That's why I was getting that sound. Ooh, that's fat. There we go. It's a more basic wave. And then, so right now I have the VCO 1 on triangle, VCO 2 on triangle. So if I were to combine or add in some of the VCO 2, we would start to get this triangle change on the VCO 1. That's with a sawtooth triangle noise on VCO 2. And then there's these filters. There's the cutoff filter. It seems to smooth it out into a sine wave. I haven't quite figured out exactly what it does yet. I think it's cutting off at a certain frequency. Let's get this back to like some noisy shit. And you can adjust the shape of VCO2 as well. So that's shape adjustment on 2 sawtooth waves. I'll go with the triangle because it's very clean and nice sounding. Triangle and sawtooth works well together. The resonance basically gets to a point where it like resonates on itself. It makes some sort of alien sounds. And then there's 2 other filter setups over here. There's the EG, which is the envelope generator. Basically your attack decay, so you can shape the note itself. So if you set this, if I up the attack, it takes a little longer for it to come on. If I up the decay, actually we had it straight before, so long decay, we can cut that. There's more steep. This one holds. Oops. And then this switch creates a sustain level and doesn't drop until you release. And then there's this like reverse envelope that just holds forever. And then there's the LFO, I forget what this one's actually stands for, but it's just another filter, and it's an oscillator that I think like runs the waveform back into itself, but you can get some pretty cool literally oscillations on the note that you already have. Get some wub-wubs. That's on the slow setting for that. If I change it to fast. Some wicked stuff. And right now this is on a square wave. You can also adjust the wave. Pretty cool. And that was actually a shape LFO. So there's targets for each of these, and it's basically how it modifies it. Is it modifying towards the envelope generator has two different pitch ones. I don't quite know the difference between them yet. Actually, it probably makes more sense if I was. The bottom, the LFO, makes a bit more sense though. So it will, let's get this back over here. This is oscillating it towards a pitch, and this is oscillating it towards a shape. And this is how you get some of the really cool, like, rolly sort of sounds. The cutoff, I think, is just like trying to drop it out. So we'll put it back on shape. So this is kind of what I've been playing with a lot, is getting this LFO to get to a point like this, where you sort of have this like beat built into the waveforms. And the whole time, I think I've been playing a, oh god, note my piano, C, B, that's probably a B, so that's a A, I don't know, an A, we're gonna go with an A. But once you have this kind of thing, you can start to actually play some melodies. Drops here. So that's pretty fun. And then the other thing, this whole bottom section here is a sequencer. So if I get back to a sort of normal, let's get this onto just like a note, not this crazy looping nonsense. Okay, that's not too bad. So what it is a 16-step sequencer, which you can either do live recording, hit play, record, you can adjust the tempo. This is all the way at the bottom is 56 beats per minute. You can see it moving along. If you jack it all the way up, that's 240 beats per minute. And with this playing in live, you can just do like, it's recorded that. You can turn stuff back off. And then I can clear this out, sequence edit, clear that. And then the other thing you can do is what's called a grid recording or step recording, where, and so I'll adjust this down so I won't do a full 16. Let's say I just want to do a sequence that's 8 steps. I've set it for 8, and now it'll allow me to play each note individually. And as I press one note, it'll move to the next one and let me record the whole sequence. And we'll change this down to 7 and just play it there. So then, let's get this to like a reasonable. Cool thing is that you can then play over, or you can mess with things as the sequence is rolling. So we're gonna drop this BPM down a bit. These cutoff fades are really fun to do. You hear that all the time in electronic music. And there's this little knobby over here. It's like a joystick. You can move it in either direction. Right now it's set up for a, turn this down a bit. It's like blaring in my headphones. Right now it's set for a pitch shift, but you can change it for all sorts of things, and you can also make it adjust on a much wider range. Let's see if we can play with some of our LFO stuff in here again. It's a little crazy. And the other thing you can do too is record up to 4 motions on top of the sequence. So if I go into edit, if I go into motion and record, I'm now recording a motion edit. So I'll do a I'll do a cutoff drop here. So now you can't really see it, but on this little screen here, it's showing the motion change, and you can hear it doing that cutoff roll every time. And I can do another, since I have this in motion, and we'll do a pitch shift on the second VCO. Okay, and we'll do one more. We'll really warp the shape of the. We gotta warp the shape on the VCO2. And it'll actually store all those. So I'm actually gonna save this. This is kind of cool. Go to program edit and write that. Write 94 to 94. Yes, we want to write that. And then there's just a million options deeper in the menus of things you can modify and everything. There's also a ton of stuff built in. There's space for 100 programs, so 100 like combinations of all these knobs, and then a single sequence to go with each of them. And this thing was apparently co-developed with Aphex Twin, so most of the programs that are pre-programmed into here are his work. But like, here's the first one. So there you can actually hear the setup, but this is the sequence that goes with it. Here's another one. We can adjust the tempo just to hear what this is, like one at a time. But the range of sounds on this thing is pretty insane. That one's awesome. It's a nice deep bump in the back. Robot shit. Like, that's pretty wicked. Some higher up that I like too. That's sweet. A lot of video game sound and stuff. And there's like that one's really cool. You can tell that's got a long attack and a quick delay, so it's like pulling up and then just drops. I wish I could show in the video a little better, this little screen, but you really start to get a sense of how the waveforms relate to the sound that you're creating, and it makes it easy if you play around with something and you lose it. you kind of start to get an understanding of what knobs and switches change what in the picture, and it makes the connection that you're building in your brain with the sound a lot stronger. I lost my... You could actually use it as a drum machine if you really wanted to. This is just showing that there's like super... What does the motion look like for this one? That would be tough to get, because you really have to have an idea or like a strong sense of what each motion is doing in time. And I don't think you can, there's no way really that you could step enter the motion. It has to be something smooth, done in real time over the beat. You could at least do it at the lowest tempo and then, you know, speed it up and get something like this. Yeah, I have no idea what like this key trigger hold button does. I've already read a crap ton about the MIDI interface, and I've got a few ideas for something I can do with an Arduino, going MIDI in just to get more control. I want to try and get something more like this joystick, maybe in like a side box, because the joystick is really cool, but only having one kind of sucks. But yeah, that's it. It's super, super cool. Been having a lot of fun playing with it, and I definitely have a lot to learn.